Hey guys, welcome back to an episode of Merancas Mike. I'm Elijah, and today we'll be discussing how social media impacts and tech innovations. In addition, our lovely street interviewer, Camille, has talked with some of you guys about social media and its effects on people. I'm truly excited to see most of y'all's perspectives and how y'all think about that. But into the announcements. National Co. will be hosting a meeting Friday, November 15th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. in room 100. On November 18th, the CMS School Library opens up and closes December 20th. Please spread the word about Merancas Middle College to your friends so they can sign up and attend next year. Please. In addition, Merancas Middle College will be hosting tours on November 21st at 3 p.m., December 6th at 11:30, December 12th at 3 p.m. So let's truly get the word out to your friends so they can attend, please. NHS will be hosting a meeting November 22nd in CJ Auditorium from 9:30 to 10:30. On that same day, NHS will be hosting a Friendsgiving from 12:30 to 1:30 in room 100. All students can attend. Please bring a snack or a food item to share. Share size, people. Share size. Chick-fil-A Leadership Academy is hosting a collection drive to create holiday packs for underprivileged students at Huntersville Elementary. Please donate, guys. We really want you guys to donate. They will be accepting donations from now until November 25th. Book Club is also setting up a little free library. Please bring a book or take one to share with the group. You know, we all should read a book a day or two, you know. But that's your announcements for today. Before we transition to Elias and Brianna discussing the pros and cons of social media and the youth, which is very useful, I'm gonna leave you guys with some wisdom as we're going into this season of thankfulness. But what I wanted to leave you guys with is be thankful for everything because you could also have nothing. But I'm Elijah, that's your announcements, and to Elias and Brianna.
Thank you, Elijah, for the announcements and shooting it our way. And we have a very special guest with us today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Brianna.
Nice to meet you, Brianna. And for everyone else, Brianna does a lot of backstage stuff for us during our other podcasts. So it's nice to see you in front of the camera today with us. And we're going to be talking about pros and cons of social media and media in general in our youth. So I did my research, and I have a lot of pros on social media. What do you have?
I have the cons on social media.
I feel like my pros are going to outweigh your cons.
Doubt it.
They're going to outweigh your cons. We'll see. My first pro is that I find it very nice that social media is like almost like kind of universal, and I can connect with anybody all over the world. So like, for example, I like music a lot, and somebody in Nevada probably likes music, and we could talk about like the Tyler Creator album or whatever. And I find that I just really like that a lot about how what's the word I'm looking for? I'm just gonna say universal again. How universal it is. What would you say to that?
I would say that is, I could agree with that. But also, when you're using social media too much, like you're connecting with that person so far away, the only source of connection y'all have is through social media. So like you'll be on social media too much, just talking to them.
I see that. Like spending all your time on social media.
Yeah.
Like, what's too much time?
I'd say more than 3 hours is too much.
Yeah, 3 hours is low-key pushing. Like, what? Go outside. Go read a book. You know what I'm saying? Go elevate your knowledge. Gain some wisdom. That's what you be doing?
Yes.
How much time do you spend?
Spend where?
On social media.
I'll say like 2 hours.
So you probably spend like 4-5. You probably be on social media all day.
No.
That's how you know all the cons.
No, I did my research like you did your research.
Oh, we gonna see who researched better. My next pro is that a good blend of like social media and like real life, like friends on social media and friends in real life can create a great blend, and you can feel accepted by a lot of people that way. That's my next pro.
Yeah, that can be the case, but it can't in a way because, people could start feeling low self-esteem and stuff like that due to like comparison, like they're comparing themselves with their online friends or just people online in general.
I see that. I see how that can happen, and like that could bring like jealousy and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which ain't good. Unless for me, sometimes I might be comparing something, and like my friend might have some shoes I want. They might have posted it, and I'm like, oh, I want those shoes. Now I'm gonna like work harder to get the shoes. So like, what would you say about that?
Like I said, definitely have its pros and cons.
Okay, okay, I see. Okay, maybe you did do some research. My next pro is that how like so much information is directly at our fingertips. So like things like ChatGPT, things like Khan Academy, online, what's it called, libraries. All those things are just at our fingertips at any time, any use, and all that knowledge and all that help. Even like YouTube tutorials and things like that. So that's my next pro of how that can help you with school, research, adulting, anything.
That's true as well. But like, you know, you could use those things negatively and you could start cheating and plagiarizing, and that's just not good.
That's why we got the honor code, and that's why the people got like AI detectors and plagiarism detectors and all different types of things.
Do you be plagiarizing?
Teachers got things like Turnitin and all type of stuff to really make sure. I remember one time my teacher used Turnitin on my my paper, and we had to cite our sources. And so it said my sources when I did my works cited in MLA format. It said that my sources were plagiarized. So that just shows you how really locked in some of these things are. Like, my sources are plagiarized. It's the website URL. Like, what? Like, so that really shows you. But I see what you're saying. You got a point. My next pro is that it's like a space to like express yourself and share yourself. So like how people can share art, music, knowledge, wisdom, encouraging words, all type of stuff. So like, for example, my brother does tattoos, and that's how he shares his work and his art on Instagram, and that's how people tap in with him. So that's my next pro is how you can use it to express yourself and share yourself.
And network and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that as well. But you know, people aren't the nicest on social media, and just because you're putting your art and your work on there doesn't mean somebody else is gonna like it. So that's just opening the doors to cyberbullying.
That's true. I see that. But also, you got to be prepared for that at the end of the day. Like, if you're posting your stuff, you also got to be prepared for the haters. If you don't got the haters, obviously you're doing something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because not everyone can really like what you do at the end of the day.
True, but you know, people aren't the same as everybody. People take things differently, and people are more sensitive than others.
I see that. My next pro is networking, actually. So, similar to my other pro, but you know, a little different. Things like LinkedIn and TikTok and Instagram, like there's so many network opportunities from those apps. Like even look at Charli D'Amelio, how she blew up and now she's a millionaire and all this stuff. Like, you know, brought her family up all because of TikTok, and just like, you know, that's her job now, and just so many different things. Like everyone should have a LinkedIn account. If you don't got a LinkedIn account, get you a LinkedIn account, because that's a big source of networking as well. So that's my next pro of social media. What you got to say about that?
That could go into the point that I made earlier about being on social media too long, because with her, you know, she spends a lot of time on social media trying to find different ways to influence her influencers.
I know. So I was just gonna like make it seem like you said a bar though, you know?
No.
Like, you know, like A Boogie said, you know, he was like, sometimes you gotta think about things the way you don't want to think about things. That's what that reminded me of.
All right.
Yeah, how she influences her influencers. I think it can make sense if you really think about it.
All right. But, you know, and also she has like a lot of people just watching her, you know, spending their time on her platform, which also leads into just being on social media too long. So she's being negatively impacted as well as her followers.
I see that. But like, that's her job though. Like, you know, obviously somebody that works in a bank would be at a bank longer than someone who doesn't, because that's their job. So, and it's like flip-flop it. Obviously someone who's a social media influencer would be on social media longer than someone who isn't a social media influencer.
But the whole point is not being on social media too much. A bank teller or whoever works in a bank, they're not on social media. They're at work in a bank.
But she's at work.
But she's on social media.
I see what you're saying. So like, kind of like even like being on screens too much, kind of, sort of, like the blue light and stuff like that. Okay, I see what you're saying. I get that. my last pro is that people in our generation are very passionate about a lot of things, and they use social media, like even Instagram, for example. They use that to share a bunch of things and bring awareness to certain things, GoFundMe's, all type of stuff, and they bring like social change through just social media, and you can witness other people do great things and be influenced by it to do great things yourself. And I find that really great, really amazing about social media. So what would you have to say about that?
I would say that there's a con to that as well. Many teens, they feel like they're missing out. They're witnessing other people, doing big things, and they think that how that's something that they should be doing at their age, and they'll feel bad because they're not doing that. So they're missing out on something that they should be doing.
It's like if somebody had a party or something, and you seen everyone like post it, and you're like, dang, I ain't getting no invite. Okay, that's fair. She came prepared. She came ready to battle. We gonna have to do another segment though in the future.
Think about it.
Yeah, Brianna's gonna be back in front of the camera one day. But I just want to thank you for coming on here and sharing your knowledge and your wisdom with us, and for all that you do behind the camera as well. So, round of applause for Brianna.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And we're gonna shoot it over to Camille for our street interviews.
Hey guys, for another interview for our segment about social media and teens, we have here with us
Simi and Nyla.
So my question for you guys is, do you think social media influences what you think about politics, culture, all of those other topics?
Oh, go ahead. Personally, I don't think it impacts it affects my beliefs. It's a good way that people spread information and can educate others. But personally, I have my own beliefs, so I'm not as swayed by social media.
Not easily influenced by everything that you see.
I would say it does, because the more that you see something, I think is the more that you'll start to believe in what you see, even if it's false.
So I have a question for you guys, and you can either say it's true or it's false. So my question for you guys is, do you think social media creates conflict?
I think so.
It can, depending on how you use it.
Can you go into detail about why you think that it does cause conflict or why it doesn't?
It can cause conflict in many different ways. Just everyone has different opinions, so social media is a place where a lot of people voice those opinions, and when people disagree, I think that causes conflict.
Agreed.
I would say no, because if you should know everybody has their own opinion, and you should just respect that.
So more if this is a platform where everyone shares their opinion, there should be conflict because everyone should just respect it more than judge.
Yeah.
I like that answer. Well, that's all we have today for this segment. Bye. Hi, Merancas Mike. We're back with another guest. This is
Raphael.
Hi, and I'm Camille. So, as you know, we're going to talk about the topic of social media and how it impacts teens. So, my first question for you is, every time you post on social media or comment or like something, do you think about your digital footprint?
No. I'll be honest, I probably don't. Especially comment, because sometimes I'll catch my friends seeing comments that they shouldn't be seeing.
So do you think that's something that you need to work on, or is it just something that where it's oh well, even though it is a digital footprint, it's not something that you're pressed about,
It's not something, comments, not something I'm pressed about, because my young business, screenshotting. But,
yeah, understandable.
It's not something I'm pressed about. I don't really comment on many things, so it's
okay, yeah,
it's rare.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Okay, yeah, I get that. Okay, my second question for you is, do you think social media makes it harder for people to build friendships and connect with people, or do you think it makes it easier?
Both.
Both?
I mean,
which one do you lean towards more, would you say?
I lean towards, makes it easier to connect. Because there's so many people that I probably wouldn't speak, I don't see
wouldn't be friends with.
I would still be friends with them, but I wouldn't be able to speak to them on an everyday basis because they live farther or
Yeah.
Social media is really the best way I can contact them and
exchange
exchange information for real.
That's real. Well, thank you for answering our questions. We really appreciate it at Merancas Mike. Bye. Hi guys, it's Camille again for our segment about social media and teens. Today I have with us
Zoe.
and I'm gonna ask her just a few questions about our topic. So my question for you, Zoe, is what's your least favorite thing about social media apps?
My least favorite, I just don't like how messy it can get.
Understandable.
It's like when it get messy, you just don't even want to be on it no more.
Yeah, just all the drama and just random nonsense that you don't want to hear. It's just like, okay. Yeah. That's understandable. What would you say is your favorite thing about social media apps?
The comedy. I just love laughing. Reels, TikTok, anything.
Especially the comments. The comments get hidden different, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for answering our questions. That's it for this interview. Bye. Hi, Merancas Mike. It's your host, Camille McDonald. Kennedy.
Chloe.
And today we're gonna talk about social media and how it affects teens. So my first question is for Chloe. So what social networks do you use and which one's your favorite?
Okay, so I use TikTok, Snapchat, and Instagram, and I would say my favorite is Snapchat just because I'm able to communicate with my friends who live in Florida, and it's just fun. Like, actually, yeah, just for communication, really.
I like that. Personally, mine's is Instagram. Snapchat is just too much of a chore. I can't wake up and do it every day, guys.
Yes, that used to be my favorite too.
What about you, Kennedy? What's your favorite?
I would say TikTok is my favorite. I spend a lot of time on TikTok. It's just entertainment. It's kind of like
Understandable.
YouTube.
Yeah, I agree.
So another question I have for you is, when's the last time you took a break from social media?
I would say probably before my junior year. I used to be heavy on like taking breaks. I used to take breaks for like 3 months straight. Now I'm kind of, I would say I'm consumed with social media now, and I need to start taking breaks. I say I'm going to, but
We all go through those points, I feel like, but we'll get there. I'm not gonna lie and pretend I'm not attached to this thing. But my last question is a true or false. It's based off like your opinion, so you can choose if it's true or false in your eyes.
Okay.
But my question is, do you think social media makes us avoid our chores and homework and responsibilities that we have, or do you think they make it easier for us to carry out?
I definitely think it makes us avoid our responsibilities because, like, when you're on your phone, you just get hooked to it, you get glued to it, especially when you're like on social media. So it definitely makes you avoid responsibilities. From personal experience, I definitely can agree with that. Yeah.
yeah, I say that's true too. We get like attached to it, and we spend hours and hours without even knowing. So it definitely like takes us away from our responsibilities and what we should be getting done.
I agree. Well, guys, that's it from Merancas Mike. Bye.
Thank you for those street interviews, honestly. Great opinions.
Great. Shout out to Camille. Always
Real.
on our street interviews. Much love.
Now that we talked about social media, its pros and cons, with you and Brianna, and you heard some opinions on how the people out there felt, let's kind of get into the tech innovations of social media, would you?
I say let's get into it. It feels so nice to, you know what I'm saying, to be on someone else's segment for once. You just always like, it's always Elias segment. So this is Elijah's segment. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So what would you say the direction of social media is headed in?
I think that it's just going to keep going up from here. Like, it's just going to keep progressing, keep advancing and things like that. And, like, it's already big and it's already become a very, important part of an aspect of our lives. And I just think it's going to keep going up from there.
That's a great answer. Yeah, I would honestly have to agree with that. I mean, seeing with social media, it's constantly growing. And seeing that with not just Meta AI, it's like, they really just go hand in hand. They balance each other out, especially seeing that social media is a constant tool that's being used for many businesses, from a business standpoint. But like, since I talked about businesses just now, as an entrepreneur, for future entrepreneurs out there, what would you say, like, how would you use social media to form a business, use your business, and promote it?
I would really just kind of post as much as I can. Like, I would almost become I'll be an entrepreneur / social media influencer. You kind of have to be. Even like what I do now. So like, I make beats. Make sure y'all tap in with me. IYM_Elias on Instagram. If you know somebody that rap, sing, whatever. But I make beats and I post my beats on Instagram. and I have in my bio my email and all different type of things.
Mhm.
And that's really what I would do as a entrepreneur, is really make sure I'm posting my things and posting where I'm at and keeping things updated. I feel like keeping things updated is very important. And then if I can sell what I can, like sell on Instagram as well, or whatever social media site, also sell on there.
Got you. I mean, from a business and entrepreneur standpoint, that's a great answer. I mean, you see, for instance, like Elon Musk, he's not only using technology and Meta AI, which is what we're talking about now, but he's also using social media to promote his stuff, like him making robots and him making self-driving cars with Tesla and all of that.
Shout out to Elon, man.
He getting his bag.
He getting his money on. He getting his bag.
But yeah, he's using social media to promote his technology and also show it off. And he's always coming up with ways to innovate that, to make it better than the last.
For sure. I mean, you also see like self-driving cars and all different types of stuffs. Like even for instance, Ford is starting to use like self-driving cars, and like even for another example, there's these cars called Waymos, and they Uber, and they self-pick you up in San Francisco. So there's self-driving cars that come and scoop you in San Francisco, and there's like a lot of accidents that happens. Have you seen those videos?
I've seen them, like multiple cars getting hit. I've seen.
I saw one instance where like a Tesla just stopped in under like a tunnel, and like so there's a lot of malfunctions that are still taking place. But I think like overall, I think once we really get to a proficient point in it, it'll be revolutionary almost. Like I'll be like, yeah, like I'm gonna be telling my grandkids like, yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, I was there
during that time.
We had to press the gas and the brake. You know what I'm saying? We had to turn on the left turn signal. I ain't even have no auto lights in my car. We had to, once 5 o'clock turn around, we had to turn them on manually. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, we see it not with just only self-driving cars, but we also see with the production line. We see that it truly transformed the way we make our products now, like cars, for instance. Like, we have a lot of high-tech machinery and heavy-duty machinery that makes the cars, that welds it naturally without it having to be human beings. Like, back in like 1920 or like right when cars were being first made, it was humans like in there welding it. I mean, it may take a long time, but like it still got done. But now we see cars being popped out like left and right.
Man.
Yeah, that production line is seeing innovations and just technology is just going crazy rapid there. But since we're talking about like production lines and manufacturing, would you say that we've become more dependable on these technological advancements, production line and grocery stores, self-driving cars,
most definitely,
stuff like that?
I feel like as they become to take more jobs and things like that and take the places of where humans used to be, we automatically become more like dependent on them. So like for example, have y'all seen I don't know if it's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or Willy Wonka, but his dad used to be a toothpaste cap screwer. He used to screw the caps on toothpaste, and then they found, I think it was machines or something that ended up taking his job. And so like even just like that, like we become more dependent, and they become to take more jobs and more jobs. So automatically we become dependent because these are everyday use things. Like toothpaste, for example. Like literally, I use toothpaste every day. I hope y'all are using toothpaste every day.
I use toothpaste every day. Let me
Got to,
go ahead and
man.
say that. Yeah.
But you've been asking me all these questions. I know it's your segment, but let's reverse it. Like, what would you say about the technological advancements that we're making? Like, would you say we're more dependent?
Yeah, I would say we're ultimately more dependent on these items like self-driving cars, Meta AI. Oof.
Meta AI.
But it truly makes things more accessible. Like I said earlier, with Elon Musk making robots. When it comes to school, us using ChatGPT. I know y'all heard us say that a lot throughout this episode, but it's truly like innovative to see that technology isn't just making the way in the production line and how we use things, but also in our school corporate businesses. Like just focusing on school real quick, like we have ChatGPT, we have Google, and it's just it makes it easier for us to find the information ultimately.
Facts, man. We don't gotta go to the library. You know what I'm saying? Find all these different books, skim through them.
I know all y'all adults know what that's like.
Yeah, you know, y'all had them the green computers. Yeah, you had to make sure all the stuff was saved. It was, it was a time back then.
Y'all actually had to take notes for real.
I'm saying,
Could never.
it hit different.
It really
It
did.
But I would agree with you on that one. What would you say? Like speaking of like research assignments and going to the library, things like that. What's some ways that you already talked about like how it has affected the school system, but what would you say it has affected like teachers and things like that aspect of? So we talked about students, but what about teachers and that aspect of the school system?
I feel like with teachers, it's like on one hand, we could learn or like teach ourselves the stuff, but it's also some students need the teachers and the teaching from the teachers, obviously, to help them actually learn what they need to learn. So I'm not saying that teachers aren't useful, but when it gets to a point, like, we don't know how technology may take over. Like, because a lot of things that we research, we can get it at a university level. So you really could have like a university idea of something. Depending on how much research you do, but you could honestly have a university idea of something at a young age. Not know, like,
yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I know that personally. ChatGPT taught me how to do something in the beginning of the year for chemistry because I was struggling and I was like, what do I do? This and that. And ChatGPT literally taught me how to do it. Like, I literally had ChatGPT explain it step by step. So I kind of get what you're saying, but I know me personally, I need like that in-person teacher to like show me. Like, I learn by examples. So like to show me something and this and that. So me personally, I don't think we'll ever get away from teachers. I just think ChatGPT will become more of a tutor.
Yeah,
AI,
especially like outside of school.
Yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah.
It's truly crazy to see like the growth of technology, not just the outside world, but in the school system in all different types of ways. You know.
Yeah, that's truly crazy. It's truly crazy. Well, that was Merancas Mike and the pros and cons of social media, how students feel about social media, and the future innovations of technology and social media. I'm Elijah.
I'm Elias. Thank y'all for watching.
Thank you.